Sagittarius! Welcome, welcome. This is your May 21 reading. I'm Emma, and I'm so excited to be with you. And I think I'm partially excited to be with you today, Sag, because I'm a Sagittarius myself. I actually saved you guys for my last recording. So I've done all the other signs, and you are my final because I really wanted to be here in the fullness, I think, with you, but also for me. So I'm excited to see what we have for May. I feel quite good about it. So as a Sagittarian, I love other Sagittariuses. They are my most fun playmates. I love living life and sharing life with Sagittarius. So I think Sagittarians are the best thing ever. And I don't say that because I think I'm the best thing ever. I say it because I truly enjoy the company of other Sagittarians. I think we get each other in a very different way. And we tend to have so much fun together. So I'm really excited to do our May readings. Now, I have sat and simmered and just really enjoyed being in Sagittarian energy prior to pressing record, and I've got my own intuitive message to bring through to you. And as that conversation goes on, I'll pull 3 cards to layer it, and towards the end we'll pull a relationship card as well and see what sort of themes are coming up for May. But the message that I got for Sagittarius in May is rest now, big changes ahead. Now, I do feel that you may have already noticed even in April, but you are definitely going to notice through the beginning of May that life, the universe, the spirit world, whatever divinity that you're into there, is going to be really encouraging downtime and rest time. Now, this might just be a couple of days. It might be like the first few weeks, but there is definitely this return to self and this recharging of energy, and it feels very strategic. It feels like we're supposed to be coming back to ourselves during this month so that we can gather our resources, ensure that the well is full. Okay. Now, I'm not a big person that believes in giving from the depths of you. I say, do not give from the depths of you. Allow the well to be so filled, it is overflowing, and then give from the overflow. Yeah, so I'm a big give from the overflow person. If Sagittarius, you're so philosophical. So I think if I say to you, just sit with that idea, I know you'll know where I'm coming from there. Give from the overflow. And what we're having for at least a few days, if not a couple of weeks, is this feeling of being filled energetically, but also time with ourselves to hear ourselves and feel ourselves and know ourselves before stepping forward. And so this is a real bonding time for us. This is a real bonding time through May. We're really feeling that connection to self, and there is permission to not charge forward. So if you do notice that, plans are getting cancelled, things are being rearranged, suddenly certain days or weeks are looking kind of reduced, or if you are feeling intuitively that you want to reduce them, then know that you're in alignment. This is like really on track here, because there is this downtime before moving forward. And I think it's because the leaps forward are very big. I feel like these are big callings into big changes that are going to change us and change our worlds, and perhaps change how we identify with ourselves in the world. And so I think we are ready for this leveling up. I think this level of personal evolution is bang on time. I think it's appropriate. But we must remember that that kind of level of movement is really big energetically. It's big on the physical, it's big on the mental, it's really big emotionally. And even if we're doing something that is incredibly great and wonderful and brilliant, being changed by your interaction with life and allowing life to change you and changing life simultaneously, changing your life. So as life changes us, we're changing our lives. As life changes us, we're changing our lives. That's really big, heavy work. And not everybody does it. Yeah, not everybody moves through life in quite a big way like that. And I feel like the Sagittarius watching this, that's you. You're somebody that your growth game is strong. Your evolution game is quick. And so you are about to be thrown into something that perhaps you do want. That is a really big opportunity, but it is going to change the way you've been living the last few months. And It is going to require your time, your energy, your attention, your focus. And it's going to be a bit of an adjustment. Not even a bit of an adjustment. I think it's going to be a big adjustment for a few weeks. I think this is, whoa, like we've gone and changed everything. This is big stuff. But what I love about this, right, this practice of coming back to self, having some downtime, learning when not to react. That may have been a big theme in April, right? Learning when not to react, but come back to self before acting. This practice where things are taking a downtime, coming back to self before out in the world, coming back to self before out in the world. This is incredibly important because as life picks up steam and we get very excited and swept up in the momentum of it, we would have established a practice where we know the importance and the value of putting in breaks. Yeah, putting in breaks, coming back to self, scheduling in that time to be able to come back to self so that we may experience this to its fullness. If we allow ourselves to get swept up in the big changes that are taking place without prioritizing some downtime, we are going to feel like we've been dragged along by it. Even if it's really good, we're just going to feel like it's exhausting and dragging us. Yeah. And in order to be able to utilize it and absorb it and enjoy it and create it and take it to its fullest, these strategic withdrawals are going to be important all the way along. So the first few days or weeks, that might be kind of a big chunk. That might be like 3 days at once with nothing going on. It might be 2 weeks with nothing going on, but it's just getting us in a good momentum, getting us in a good practice so that we know when life moves forward, because I do feel like it's moving forward like charge, like there is speed to this. This is that thing where you say, oh, I haven't been up to anything in 2 weeks, and now suddenly your calendar is incredibly full, right? And you're like, I haven't got time to do all the things. And I think getting into this strategic practice, this strategic withdrawal, is going to be incredibly supportive of being able to actually enjoy the new experience when it arrives. And so it's kind of twofold. There is this readiness taking place. There is this readiness of sort of, allowing ourselves to rest, allowing rest, knowing that that's what's best for our well-being and for our reconnection with our sense of self and our sense of being before taking out the world. But also it is supportive of knowing that we need to put that in even when things pick up, and except it'll just be in smaller doses. It won't be as in bigger chunk. It might be like, okay, we've got a really full day, so I'm spending the last 2 hours before bedtime with no company and no conversation and just coming back to self. It might be that we're segmenting the day. A really full week, I have to put in these segments where I come back to myself midday. I just feel like this strategic withdrawal is really important. It's going to give us a new way of meeting our life experience, Sagittarius. So I feel like it's going to allow us to feel more stable in the world and more in a position of choosing and with more connection. I think it's going to allow us to go into big things and do them differently and take them forward into a fullness they've never been before, because we are strategically coming back to ourselves in between to decide how we want to meet these experiences and who we want to be inside of them, because there's so much change going on. That's what it is. There's so much change going on that we will need to come back in between and say, okay, who am I right now? And who do I want to be for the next hour? And who do I want to be for the next week? And how do I want to move forward? So there's this going forward, experiencing life, absorbing it all, and then coming back to self to say, what just happened? Where am I at? How do I feel? What do I want to do next? And it's just this little rhythm in and out. In and out, in and out. So with that in mind, let's have a look and see if we can layer that conversation. Do you know what? My heart just skipped pulling these cards. Isn't that funny? Like it just went like a big, like a really big heart feeling. Okay. So we've got the 6 of Cups. Trying to get a nice angle on that. We've got the World. and we've got the Ten of Wands. And now these feel like really big, special, incredible cards to me, because when I look at this, I'm going to take those two first. I feel like we are feeling back to life, feeling back alive, feeling the beauty of life, the connection with life, our enthusiasm for life. I feel like what we're going into makes us glad to be alive and happy to be alive and excited to be alive. I think that it's fun and playful and brilliant and beautiful. And I feel like those moments of coming back to self are going to enhance the experience so that we do not feel overwhelmed by life, but able to enjoy it. And this is new worlds. This is us taking ideas and goals and dreams and desires that maybe we've always had. I mean, this could be stuff that we've had since childhood, since we were teenagers, or for the last 10 years. These are things we've always wanted to live and experience and bring into being, and things we always believed we were supposed to live. I was supposed to do this. I was supposed to live this. I don't know where it went off track. Well, now we are bringing it into reality. Now we're going to live it. Now it's going to be a big deal. And I think the reason it can come into being now is because we have established better practices of connecting with self, so that we aren't squashed by our own ambition, but in alignment with it. Oh, my whole heart, Sag, my whole heart is going, wow, this is about to get really, really good. And then I've also got here, obviously we've got the Ten of Wands. Now what I feel is that this is about not looking too far ahead, right? One task at a time, one thing at a time, 1 hour at a time, 1 day at a time, however you need to look at life, rather than looking like 10 steps down the road or 6 months down the road. You know that, okay, it maybe is part of our culture to have like a 5-year plan. You know, it's they say, well, how do you see this becoming in 6 months? And where do you want it to be? And where's it going? But Sagittarius thrives being here now. And the magic of Sagittarius is that when Sagittarius is here now, Sagittarius is making so much happen right now. Like, you guys can make so much happen in a day that other people take a year to do. And I think by you being here now and feeling it fully now and living it now, everything else will just become. It will be brought to life through the living of it. And you don't need to worry about knowing all the ins and outs. You know full well you don't even enjoy that. You don't thrive from that mental position of trying to figure out the next year. And if we did put the next year in place, Sagittarius, you would spend the next year breaking out of it because you hate a life that's scripted. You need the freedom to decide and choose as you go. You don't want it all mapped out. So the last thing that you need to do is try and make it too rigid on yourself because you believe that's what adults do. You're a different kind of person, Sag, and you know that you have a magic of bringing life to life and it being incredibly fun and brilliant and everything you want it to be. And you are going to live that. And we just need you to be on board with who you are. Just be here now, enjoy it now. But also it's going to help you not, like I say, not feel too squashed, not to feel too overwhelmed. Like, even so, I said I'm a Sag. Even me this week, I had a really, really full week, doing lots of things I was really excited about that I really wanted, but I did feel overwhelmed at how much was to be done, how much I've got to do in the next week. And I ended up just putting it on a piece of paper and saying, right, I've written it down now, so now I don't have to think about it. I know I've got all that to do, and I'll meet it 1 hour at a time. And that just was enough for me. It's on a piece of paper, it'll be taken care of, I'll do it. But if I had kept it in my head, it was just swirling. And I was really lucky that my partner was keeping me, really focused, because he was sending me, messages whilst I was busy in my day saying, remember, this is what you really wanted. This is an exciting and important week. And I think that's what we can do, is just keep reminding ourselves, this is what we really wanted. What we're about to live throughout May is what we really wanted. And the only thing we need to do in order to bring it to fullness is take breaks. That's it. Just take strategic withdrawal, take breaks. That's all that's needed, Sag. Got a really magical May with everything you want being able to go the distance. And I really do feel that this is stuff we've wanted for a long time, right? This is stuff that dreams that were put on the back burner, or dreams we pretended we abandoned, but are now having a resurgence. Because now we're ready. There's an emotional maturing that's taken place. There's a life of becoming that's happened. There's a readiness, and we're not as fragmented as we once were. So our focus is sort of more powerful because it's directed in the right way. And I think we are going to be able to bring some really beautiful life experiences to life. Oh, my heart, Sag. I'm really thrilled for us for May. Please come and tell me. Come and tell me what you're up to. I'd love to hear. I'm going to pull a relationship card, but I would love to hear how other Sages are experiencing life. I think this has got the potential to be really thrilling. Right. So relationships for May. I'm just going to get another one of that. I've pulled one, but I just want a clarifier. Okay. So we've got the 8 of Wands, right? And I also pulled the High Priestess. So I do believe everything we've discussed can also be applied to relationship. So whether you're single and looking for somebody new, or whether you're in union, take breaks. I'm not talking about long breaks. I'm not saying take a month off. But what I am saying is take daily breaks to come back to self. Come back to self before moving forward. I feel like it's the strategic withdrawal that's going to allow it to move forward faster. Yeah. So rather than pushing into the space when you're nervous or uncertain or tired, hormonal, hungry, rather than pushing into the space with the other, strategic withdrawal, coming back to self, is going to work in this magical way where it actually allows life to happen. And it's the living of it that's going to create the aliveness and create the movement and create the creation of relationship. And I feel like your relationships are going in new directions this month, and I feel like they might be quite surprising to you. All really good, all really positive. Oh, I'm not a fan of the word positive. All really fun, loving, interesting, exciting. And I feel like there are surprises to come from partnership. So surprises to come from the other. So if you're in partnership, that'll be your other. It's got surprises for you this month. Surprises about their own becoming. And I think you're going to be really dazzled by the beauty of your partners this month and what they've become and what they're bringing forward. And it's really lined up with you. And you're going to be like, wow, this has never happened to me before. He or she's never done this before. This is so brilliant and beautiful. Or I've never had this before from someone. I've never had it, and this is incredible. But in order to be able to appreciate that and enjoy that and see that when it's right in front of your face, you're going to need that strategic withdrawal. And I think if you're single and looking for somebody new, I do believe this month may be bringing something very, very different. Something you've not had before, Sag. Somebody you've never experienced. Someone new, something of saying, wow, that nobody's ever said that to me before. This has never happened to me before. This is, we'll go with a High Priestess here, in alignment with who I am. I've not had something so in alignment with who I am. That's what May's bringing. Is surprise and enthusiasm and connection and love and zest and wildness, but wildness with security and stability. And actually, Sag can have that. Sag can be wild and free and feel safe all at once. And I feel like you've got that coming in May, where you're realizing you can have, with speed and surprise and magic and unexpected brilliance, that which is in full alignment with who you are, and nobody's asking you to be anything different. You know, it's looking, I would say everything we've discussed really does apply to relationship, right? So if you are feeling a little bit overwhelmed by the idea of relationship, or you're feeling overwhelmed inside your relationship at any given point, do ask yourself whether you're just tired a little bit, there's too much, and you can't be everything for everyone everywhere, and maybe you just need time to yourself to come back to self. And know that that's a really healthy practice, especially in relationship, to keep coming back. And that isn't a sign that you don't love your other, and that isn't a sign of you don't want them enough. It's a sign you're not codependent and you value your own well-being on equal measure as that of your partner. And you know, in order to be a better partner and to enjoy the experience of dating and being in togetherness, to be able to enjoy it, you need to come back to self, because you know you're going to go back into it better, that you're bringing a better version of you forward. And you're allowed to do that, Sag. You're allowed to come back to yourself, and you're allowed to have things that are not all about the other, because it's the other areas of your life, like your friendships and your philosophy and your spirituality and your work and your creativity. I mean, you're incredibly textured. It's all these other areas that you also engage in that make you attractive. You know, it's what makes you interesting and fun and exciting and intelligent and brilliant and beautiful. And you're allowed to have a very textured life. And there are ways for us to incorporate relationship and co-create relationship whilst honoring our own individuality and time for self. And so if you are uncertain this month, if you are getting edgy, just come back to self, and you'll see how simple that makes everything move forward really, really quickly. You know, I'm a Sag in relationship, and I tell you now, my partner is incredibly respectful of all my Sagittarian ways, and it's what he loves about me. It's what he loves. And so he knows I've had a really full week. And like yesterday, I couldn't hang out because I was so tired. I was so tired. I couldn't even text properly. I ended up calling and saying, I can't even text you. I'm so tired. And he's like, that's fine. You've had a really amazing week. I'm so happy for you. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And I say, great, thank you. I love you. You know, he's so beautifully supportive, and I've never had that before him. So I want to assure you that you can have time to self and be respected, and that nobody's going to hold that against you. You're allowed to be wild and free, and you're allowed to be safe and in the nook of your partner and inside relationships, and you're allowed both. You're allowed all the different colors of relationship. And I think May's going to really show you that. Like, May's going to really show you that you can be yourself, that you can go big, that you can have breaks and go big. Yeah, that you can have time to rest and time to be incredible and big and amazing, and that you're not a threat to those that get you. That you're not a threat to your friends. You're not a threat to those lovers that you're engaging with. When they're right for you, you're not a threat. In fact, they love it. They think you're awesome. So I think you're going to get lots of validation in very surprising ways through relationship in May. And I think that that's so exciting and really great. Okay, Sag. Oh, please keep me posted, because I'd love to hear how other Sages are experiencing life. If you want to join me on my Patreon, it's my little community that I'm developing. It's brand new, but it's kind of new. It's like a month old, so it's still growing and blossoming. But we're doing lots of fun things there. I'm posting daily readings, making videos. I'm looking forward to making a monthly live as the community develops and we can get some conversation going. And I'm just really excited about it. So if you want to come and play with me there, it's about £5 a month, but you get access to everything, and you know, support small businesses. And we also have the availability, that's me and you, Sag. If you want a one-to-one, we can do that. I'll put a link in my description box to my website, and I'll be back for the June readings. Happy May. May you strategically withdraw because you know it's for your own good, and be ready for the big changes that are arriving in May. It's all stuff you want. Okay, see you later. Bye.